Bugungi darsimizda Cambridge 6 Test 2 Reading Passage 3 analizini ko'rib chiqamiz va bu numeration haqida ekan. Numeration bu sanoq savol turlarini ko'rib chiqamiz. Matching ending 20-31 gacha. Lekin true false degan savollar bor ekan. Matching endingni oldingi videoda ko'rgan bo'lsangiz, logika bilan qilishga harakat qilgandim. To'g'ri chiqqan emas. Buni ham shunaqa qilishga harakat qilaman. True false degan savollarni faqatgina keywordlarga qaragan holda javoblarni topishga harakat qilaman, urinib ko'raman. Xo'p, boshladik. A developed system of numbering. Nope. 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 Farming bo'lishi mumkin. Okay, development of arithmetic bo'lishi mumkin. C yoki B bo'ladi, qisqasi B C bo'ladi, qisqasi B C bo'ladi javoblar. Ko'ramiz yana. Additional hand signal. Additional hand signal. When it was used when the range of numbers were restricted. Bo'lishi mumkin, bo'lishi mumkin. Katta ehtimol bilan. Hop. Keyingisi. 7th century Europe, the ability to count to a certain number was necessary in order to fulfill a civic role. A bo'la qolsin. QA emas, A bo'la qolsin. Keyingisi. Thinking about numbers gets concepts separate from physical objects. Persist in all societies maybe. D bo'la qolsin. Balki xatodir ko'ramiz. Taxmin qilib tashladim. Expressing number differently according to class of item. Number differently according to class of item. What's the characters of early numeration system bo'lishi mumkin. G bo'lishi balki. Masalan, qisqasi G qilib tashladik. Bilmayman nima qilib tashladik, bilmayman nima bo'lganini. Birorta tanlashimiz kerak. C bo'la qolsin kichkina. Bu men taxmin qilgan javoblarim edi. Endi seriyozdan o'tira olamiz, to'g'ri javoblarni topishga harakat qilamiz. To'g'ri javoblarni topish uchun men birinchi true false deganlarni olaylik. True false deganda masalan bunga ham savollar bor, javoblar chiqardir. For the earliest tribes, the concept of sufficiency was more important than the concept of quantity. Earliest tribelar uchun miqdordan ko'ra sufficiency, yetarlilik muhimroq bo'lgan. Topamiz earliest tribes. One of the first great intellectual feats of young child is learning how to talk, closely followed by learning how to count. From early childhood, we are bound up with our system of numeration that is feat of imagination to consider the problem faced by early humans who have not yet developed this facility. Careful consideration of our system of numeration leads to the conviction that rather than being a facility that comes naturally to a person, it's one of the great and remarkable achievements of our human race. Surely, it's impossible to learn the sequence of events that led to developing concepts of numbers. Hope, even the earliest of tribes had the systems of numeration that, if not advanced, was sufficient for the task that they had to perform. Our ancestors had little use of actual numbers. Instead, their consideration would be more of the kind is enough rather than how many they were engaged in food gathering. When our ancestors had little use of actual numbers. Вообще actual numberlarga qiziqmagan. Nima uchun qiziqmagan? Instead their consideration would be more of the kind of is enough. Demak, ular buni o'rniga ularning consideration o'ylovi of a kind shunaqaroq bo'lgan. This enough, demak, the kind is enough, this enough. Demak, yetarlicha rather than chem how many they were engaged in food gathering. Demak, shuni yetarlichalik sufficiency quantity dan how many likdan muhimroq bo'lgan. Shuning uchun ham buni true olamiz. Tushunarli. Sorry. Kingsa. Indigenous Tasmanians used damn it man. Indigenous Tasmanians use only 4 terms to indicate numbers of objects. Faqatgina 4 ta term. Even such arithmetic numbers can be found. Indigenous people of Tasmania were only able to count 1, 2, many. Tasman counted 1, 2, 2 and 1, and 2 twos and 1. Oh, what the hell? Tasmaniyada 4 ta aytib ishlatmagan, ular 1 ni aytgan, 2 ni aytgan, meni aytgan. Qiziq. False bo'lar ekan. 4 ta emas, 3 ta da. Bechora odamlar. Some peoples with simple number systems use body language to prevent misunderstanding of expression of number. O'zi ko'rgansiz, ba'zi bir odamlar simple number system bo'lgan ba'zi bir odamlar body language ni ishlatgan, misunderstanding bo'lishini oldini olish maqsadida. To'g'ri qo'ygan kesa. Gesture to resolve the conflict. Yep. In real situations, real vaziyatlarda number and words are often accompanied by gesture to help resolve confusion. Bu true bo'ladi. All cultures have been able to express large numbers clearly. Barcha kulturalar katta raqamlarni clearly express qilishni qo'lidan kelgan. Ko'ramiz. Lack of ability of some cultures to deal with large numbers is not really surprising. O'z ko'rgansiz, ba'zi bir kulturalar bunaqa katta nomerlar bilan deal qilolmaydi. Shuning uchun buni false olamiz. The word thousand has Anglo-Saxon origin. Thousand so'zi Anglo-Saxon originga to'g'ri kelar ekan. By 7th century, word theon had been interchangeable with ta, chund, hunt language, and so 100 was denoted as hunt theoning, or 10 times 10. The average person in the 7th century was not as familiar with numbers as we are today. In fact, to witness an account of low men had to be able to count to 9. 1000 must be usable. No information not given, to'g'rimi? NG, chunki 1000 haqida emas, 100 haqida gapirishgan, lekin hunting. Oh, charchadim. Not given, qisqasi. In general, people in 7th century had poor counting ability. Umumiy jihatdan 7-asrdagi Yevropada poor counting ability bo'lgan, umuman sanash bilmagan. To'g'ri, bu true bo'ladi. Bunga sabab hozir tushuntiraman. Nimaga bu true bo'ldi deb so'rasangiz, men javob berishim qanaqa bo'lardi? The average person in 7th century was not familiar with numbers as we are today. Hozirgida biza familiar bo'lganda, oldingilar numberlarni bilmagan, familiar bo'lmagan. In fact, to qualify as a witness in a count of law, a man had to be able to count to 9. Demak, biza witness now. Witness bo'lish uchun 9 gacha sanash kerak bo'lgan. Wow. Poor counting ability bo'lgan. O'z ko'rsangiz, men misolga javobni ketdik. In 7th century, ability to count a certain number was necessary in order to fulfill civic activity. Mana civic role, witness sifatida civic role ni ijro etish uchun kerak bo'lgan, bu to'g'ri bo'lar ekan. Additional hand signal gestures bo'lganda, whatever. Mana early stages can be readily found. Qisqasi, real situation number of words are often accompanied with gestures, hand signals. Qisqasi, mana bu kam bo'lganda 1, 2, 3 bo'lganda faqatgina mana this basic approach is limited to range of numbers that it can express. Qisqasi, shunaqa vaziyat bo'lgan ekan. Hand signal bo'lgan ekan, qachon ishlatilgan ekan? Range of numbers restrict bo'lgan. Masalan, 1, 2 ko'p degan vaziyatda hand signal ishlatilgan ekan. Shuning uchun ham bu i bo'lishi aniq. O'zingiz ko'rgansiz, mantiqiy savolga mana develop system of numbering. Qisqasi ma'mula muhimda aniqda. Qisqasi ayni bilmayman, javoblar chiqmadi. Javoblarni o'qib ketaveraylikchi. Qisqasi bo'ldi, muhim emas. Tsimshian language, the number for long objects and cannot be expressed with same word. Tsimshian language qani endi bu yerda? Mana Tsimshian language contains 7 distinct set of words for numbers according to the class of the item being counted. For counting flat objects and animals, for round objects and time, long objects and trees, canoes, and for measures. Long objects, same word. False bo'ladi bu. Kanoga boshqa bo'lgan, long objectga boshqa bo'lgan. Shuning uchun ham same language ni ishlatmagan, same word ishlatmagan. Shuning uchun ham buni false olamiz. Tushuninglar degan umiddaman, tushunmagan bo'lsa yana bir marta qaytaraman. Qisqasi masalan, Tsimshianlarda 7 distinct set of words bo'lgan, numberlar uchun. Masalan, kanolar uchun alohida bo'lgan, for long objects and trees ga alohida bo'lgan. Shuning uchun ham same bo'lmaganda. Same word bo'lmagan. Baraka topganlar same word bo'lmagan. Tsimshian language contains both older and newer systems of counting. Ikkalasini ham olar ekan. It seems the diversity of numbers that can be found in some widely used language Japanese. It seems that the last is a later development while the first 6 groups show the relics of an older system. O'z ko'rganingizdek, last oxirgisi for measures or for counting last later development birinchi oltitasi relics of an old system. Demak, old system bilan new system contain qilar ekan. To'g'ri bo'lar ekan. Bu true bo'ladi javobimiz. Xo'p, oxirgisi keyin. Early peoples found it easier to count by using their fingers rather than group of pebbles. Pebbles. Mana. Counting is not directly related to formation of number concept because it's possible to count by matching items being counted against a group of pebbles, grain of corn, or to count on fingers. These items would have been very early people who would have found impossible without some form of mechanical aid. Qisqasi, no information about it. Not given. Nimaga not given bo'ldi so'rashlar mumkin? Nimaga not given bo'ldi aynan? Chunki easier haqida ma'lumot yo'q. Qo'l bilan barmoqda sanashni group of people bilan sanashdan easier degan gap yo'q, chunki mana yozilgan group of people ishlatgan, grain of corn ishlatgan, fingerlarni ishlatgan degan easy hardligi haqida ma'lumot yo'qligi sababli shuning uchun not given oldik. Shu bilan bugungi darsimiz o'z oxiriga yetadi. Hamma savollarga javoblarni to'g'ri tushuntirdim deb umid qilaman. Muammo bo'ladigan bo'lsa kommentarda qoldiringlar. Shu bilan keyingi darslarda ko'rishguncha xayr, bye bye guys.